Hey, my name is Kenton Hayes. I'm a sophomore and my major is accounting.
Hello, I'll be helping you figure out how to use the HLOOKUP and the COUNTIF function in Excel. The HLOOKUP function is useful for using a target value to find other information in an array or table. The first thing I recommend you doing is changing the format of B3, which is gives you the zip code. You go that by going to the number at the top, go to special, and then zip code. I recommend to put any random zip code in now, so as we go along, you can double check to make sure everything is right. The first thing you want to start with is in B4, you're looking for the primary city based off the zip code in B3. You can start by typing in equal H lookup. The function will come up. You'll click on it. The lookup value is B3. That's what we want to use. The table array start at C10 and you want to go down to C21 and then you go all the way across. This is important because if depending on when you start will affect another part of the function, the next part, row index. And if you go too far, you can always go back. Take note of what the table is. It's C10 to DD21, so you don't have to highlight the equation table every time. Like I was talking about before, the row index number is based off where you start highlighting the table, and it goes by rows. So row 10, we start there. That'll be number 1, type 2, primary city 3. And we're looking for primary city, so row index number is 3. The range lookup, we need to always find the exact match, so make sure false is there for that always. In parentheses and press enter. That is Atlanta. That is the primary city for that zip code. County, almost very similar process. H lookup, double click. The target value is the zip code, P3. Table array, we don't have to highlight it since we know it's C10 to, make sure you use colons, DD21. Row index number, with zip being 1, type 2, primary city 3, state 4, except city 5, county is 6. And you always want to find the exact match, so false. Fulton County, still same thing. Now, next we're using the COUNTIF function, which counts a certain range of value, number of cells, in a range that contains a certain condition that you give it. The range is, as we've used in the two previous functions, C10 to DD21. Now the criteria we're looking for the number of times the city of East Point comes up. So you want to start off the criteria of quotation marks because Excel is looking for a string of text, and by putting East Point into the quotation marks, you're telling Excel what string of text, only string of text to look for. You could put a number in and Excel will look for that number as a string of text. It'll come up 2 times. Now for B7, we're looking to determine the number of times the county in B5 appears in a table. This is a bit different than what we did last time, because we're not just looking for a string of text, we're looking for the string of text that pops up in the previous cell that changes. So instead of doing quotation marks B5 or quotation marks Fulton County, because by just doing Fulton County, it won't change whenever we change the zip code, and by doing quotation marks B5, that will actually look for B5 in the table array, which will always pop up 0. You just do B5 in quotation marks, enter, and that's what pops up. You could select a different zip code to make sure everything still functions the same, and it does. So that's how you use HLOOKUP in the COUNTIF function.